Episode 6 of 1923 looked like an episode that was simply meant to move the plot along. But looks can be deceiving. I'll say that again. Looks can be deceiving. Y'all, the show dropped not one, but 2 bombs on us, and we didn't even notice. But let's ease in. This is Spencer and Alex getting married during episode 6 of 1923, and this is everyone watching at home. We do not deserve this couple.
There is no putting me back. We are one now.
All good, right? Except for this.
I go where you go. Even if it's the death of me.
Yeah, boy. It's Billy Dukes, and I love Spencer and Alex like I love my second dog. I said I was going to protect my heart after having to put my first dog down, but I can't say no to you. You too? Comment below. If not Spencer and Alex, who is the Yellowstone franchise's all-time greatest couple? Okay, one more line from them.
If death is our fate, I will draw my last breath and kiss you with it, I swear to God.
Subscribers know that I typically get to the hidden clues and original analysis, plus some theorizing pretty quick in these videos, but be honest. Don't you kind of just want more from them? Like this moment from Alex upon learning the place she's going has no electricity and no running water.
There's no plumbing. Fascinating the things men fail to mention when they're trying to bed you.
Yeah. The other reason I'm starting this video with fluff is to avoid talking about having to put another dog down. Y'all, Alex and Spencer are not long for this world, and they just proved it to us. You can find the time codes in the description if you just can't wait to find out why I think they're gonna die. It won't be but a couple minutes. But first, like the show, I'd like to spend a little bit more time back at the ranch. Aunt Cara is in charge of hiring the new Montana Livestock Agency to police cattle thieves, and it's going slowly because it's bad work that pays very little. She hires 3 or 4, including one guy who looks exactly like John Osborne from country duo Brothers Osborne. That's actually actor Brian Conowall, and I'll just take a little peek here at his IMDb and, oh wait, he's in 5 episodes of 1923? That doesn't make sense. Hold on here. He was in episode 3? Yes, that man, whose name is either Clive or Clyde, was one of Banner Creighton's men that shot up Jacob Dutton and his family and killed John Dutton Sr. And I gotta thank Insider for realizing this and cropping this photo together to prove it. Jack thinks he recognizes the man during the meeting, but the sheriff hires him anyway, kinda quickly. Y'all, there's a rat in the room, maybe more than one, but Cara doesn't know this yet, and somewhat frustrated, she tells the sheriff the truth about what's happened to her husband, something that Jacob Dutton very much did not want. The sheriff is one of 2 characters who really shine for the first time this season after quite a bit of hype over the actor. That's Robert Patrick, who's best known for playing the cyborg in Terminator 2 with Arnold Schwarzenegger in 1991. Once back on the ranch, he stands up to Jacob Dutton and says they'll do this the right way to avoid a Montana range war. All this starts to look mighty suspect now that we know that he was the one who pushed to hire Clive or Clyde so quickly. Is the sheriff Team Don, as in Donald Whitfield? While there, the sheriff asks where the bodies of Banner's men are. These would be the men that were killed in the firefight that nearly killed Jacob Dutton earlier this season. Jacob says,
"Rotting on the Wyoming border."
He's talking about the train station, the famous roadside cliff that the cowboys in Yellowstone have been using to dump their dead for years, over a century apparently. What's super interesting about this is that I've always assumed it to be a pretty long drive from the Yellowstone ranch, but not so long that a couple of horses can't get there in a day or 2. The real-life train station is called the Zone of Death, and we went deep on that in a video that I put both in the corner of this video as well in the description section below. Be sure to tap subscribe while you're down there. Helen Mirren was very good during this episode, as she has been throughout this entire series. Around 29 minutes in, she unleashes an epic dressing down of her husband after he turns his back on her, angry that she'd told the sheriff about Banner Creighton's attack.
It's vengeance you seek. Never mind, he'll be arrested in the morning. You'd rather put the bullet in him yourself. Then it's you in prison, and the ranch is lost all the same.
I'm not sure if it worked, however, because just a few minutes later, we get the second of those 2 great character moments I talked about. Let's be honest, until this point, Harrison Ford was a supporting character, mostly due to circumstance. slowly you start to realize he's fighting the same fight that John Dutton is fighting in Yellowstone. He's working hard to keep men from stealing his land and turning it into a city or a subdivision, like, to use the examples that he used, Boston or New York.
I'm gonna kill him because the men who build cities always send men like Banner first.
One more parallel I'll draw between the two shows. We get a scene where Harrison is lamenting a road being built up a mountain, and he says they're trying to choke off the water that feeds his ranch. That's exactly what Dan Jenkins tried to do during early seasons of Yellowstone, before John Dutton instructed his men to light enough dynamite to literally change the path of the river. The shows repeat themselves all the time, and I'm about to get to a really terrifying example of that, but a couple of more things real quick. Jack and his wife Elizabeth have figured out that her being pregnant is the best kind of birth control.
Seems they're embracing the sport of it.
To open the episode, we watch as lawmen kill Teonna's grandmother. She doesn't know this yet, as she's still with Hank, who has asked her to pick a boy name. What follows is an interesting, if unconventional, statement on the American tradition of naming son after father.
Daswa isichioi dakbajeoda ilasashiluk.
Sometimes Taylor Sheridan likes to opine a little bit. I can't say I'm all in on all of his commentaries. Finally, as expected, Alex and Spencer survive the tugboat capsizing, and it happens more or less how you thought it might. They just wait until they're rescued. Actress Julia Schlepfer is very good during these scenes.
I refuse to be scared.
This builds to the end when, after being rescued, they ask a ship captain played by Joseph Mawley, the guy who played Game of Thrones' Benjen Stark, to marry him, and he does so during a tender scene that involves his gifting them his wife's wedding ring. Can you think of another time that two unexpected lovers enjoyed a quick wedding in the face of danger during a journey west? Y'all, it's the same plot line as Sam and Elsa from 1883, and I'm not saying that as criticism. I'm saying that so this episode-ending bit of dialogue hits with full weight.
When the sun hits your face, I'm your shadow. When it finds my back, you are mine. I go where you go. Even if it's the death of me.
And how would Alex die? Let's zoom in on this moment from the ship captain's office.
Suppose it's unnecessary to point out how lucky you are to be alive.
I'll play it again. What about this one? It's believed that Captain Luca could have had tuberculosis, which is very infectious. Now all of a sudden Alex is coughing. Maybe it's just coincidence. Maybe she has seawater in her lungs. Maybe the whiskey hit her a little hard. Or maybe she has TB and is about to bring it back to Montana. It all feels very Elsa-like, which is why, even though I love Spencer and Alex, I'm treating her like my second dog Daisy and protecting my heart. I'm Billy Dukes with Taste of Country. Thanks for watching, and thanks for subscribing.